Good evening, this is TCNT News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ninghui Kim Kong Sai. First, the headlines. SC6 forensic report on audio clips alleging Biren Singh's role in ethnic clash. Karnataka to implement right to die with dignity, order of Supreme Court. 773 dead in week-long fighting in Congo. News in detail. The Supreme Court on February 3rd sought a forensic report on the examinations of audio clips alleging Manipur Chief Minister and Biren Singh's role in the state's ethnic violence, which has killed over 200 people and left thousands homeless since it first erupted in May 2023. The order was passed after the SC bench, comprising Chief Justice of India Sanjeev Khanna and Justice Sanjay Kumar, heard a petition filed by the Kuki Organizations for Human Rights Trust seeking an independent investigation into the audio tapes. The matter will next be posted in the week commencing on March 24. Advocate Prasan Bhushan, appearing for the petitioner, submitted that the audio clips were examined by Truth Labs, who certified that the voice belongs to Chief Minister by over 93%. He said that in the tapes, the Manipur Chief Minister could be heard saying that he allowed Meitei groups to loot the state armory and that he ensured their protections from arrest. The CM's comments were unfortunately recorded by a person who was present in the closed-door meeting, and they got eventually leaked, claimed Bhushan, asserting that it was a serious issue showing the Chief Minister is instigating and abetting ethnic violence. Solicitor General of India Tushar Mehta for the state reiterated his preliminary objection that the petitioners first approached the High Court. The SG also informed that FIR has been registered with respect to the matter and an investigation was underway. The investigations agency has also approached the Twitter accounts which uploaded the voices for verifications. The tapes have been sent for forensic examinations. Mehta also said that the petitioner was carrying certain ideological baggage with a separatist mindset. I have not gone into the contents and veracity of the recordings. When will SFL reports come? CJI Khanna asked. As he said that the forensic reports can be produced, Bhushan said that the report of the Truth Labs carries more credibility than any government agency report. Released in the week commencing on March 24, 2025, it is pointed out that audio clips are sent for examinations by CFSL. The report will be produced in seal covered, the bench observed in the order. The Kuki Students Organization's KSO has come out strongly against the Manipur government, condemning the alleged harassment of Pul Benjamin Mate, chairman of the Kuki Organizations for Human Rights. According to the KSO, Mate is being unfairly targeted by the SP of Cybercrime Police of Manipur and the officer in charge of the Nopal police stations, who have initiated an intrusive search based on an audio leak. The KSO has reminded the public that the audio tape in question was submitted to a laboratory for examinations on January 23, 2025, and the results have been verified, with the Supreme Court of India set to begin hearing the case on February 3, 2025. The KSO is calling for a fair and transparent investigations into the matter, one that upholds the principles of justice and respect the right of all individuals involved. They reject any attempts to tarnish Mate's reputations based on incomplete or unverified information and condemn the character assassinations of Mate by the Manipur government. The KSO also threatened to launch a massive democratic agitation if Mate is arrested, captured or harassed, or if his family members are targeted. They are appealing to the public to support the agitations if and when it is announced. On February 3, 2025, the Committee on Tribal Unity observed the 21st Remembrance Day in Sadar Hills district of Manipur with the theme, "You Sacrifice Your Today for Our Tomorrow." To mark the occasion, all government offices and private institutions in the district remain closed. Business establishments, shops, markets, and transportation services also observe a shutdown. Community members lit candles in memory of the martyrs, paying tribute to their sacrifices for the community's future. Kotu leaders and members gathered at the Martyrs Cemetery to pay their respects. The event was attended by various civil society organizations and community members. The observance of Remembrance Day served as a reminder of the sacrifices made by the Kuki-Zo martyrs who fought for the rights and dignity of their community. The community continues to honor their memory and strive for a better future. We pray that God unite us till we achieve self-administration as a dream for which our martyrs have sacrificed their lives. Security forces arrested 3 individuals associated with the Arambay Tinggol group on Saturday following their involvement in issuing challans to drivers along the Imphal to Ziribam National Highway. As per information gathered from the Manipur police, the trio were apprehended for illegally collecting money from transport vehicle drivers under the guise of issuing challans. The arrested members of Arambay Tinggol are identified as Thangzam Jor Singh, alias Shuraj 28, Abuzam Narendra Singh, Mitlang 21, and Wahengbam Amarjit Singh, alias Boy 35, all residents of Kaital Mambi in the Patsui police jurisdictions of Imphal West District. Police recovered several items from the suspects, including a thermal printer with 9 paper rolls, 2 handheld wireless sets with an extra antenna, 2 other cars, 2 notebooks, 2 wallets, a sum of rupees 1,600 and a 4-wheeler. The Manipur government is fully committed to fencing the borders, identifying new immigrants and eradicating drugs from the state, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh said. Speaking at a public interactions program at Kumbi in Bishnupur district, Singh said that the state government is committed to ensure that there is no further disturbance to the future generations. We remain steadfast in our objective to fence the border, identify new immigrants, regulate the entry of foreigners with issuing of passes, and completely eradicate drugs from the state. This is a promise of BJP and the state government, and we will not stop until these are achieved, the Chief Minister said. Only the BJP can save Manipur and indigenous people. No other party can save the state, as all they have done is divide and destroy the state. For many years, the people of the state demanded implementations of Inner Land Permit (ILP) to protect the small populations of the state, but no parties gave it except BJP under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Singh said internally displaced people will not be allowed to go to insecure places. We have allowed some 2,000 people to return after their places have been identified as safe and secure. The remaining will be allowed to return after detailed observations. As of now, more than 500 displaced persons have been given employment, Singh said. The conflict started after armed men suddenly attacked innocent public and engaged in arson of residential houses and forced people to flee from their homes. If the government had started the conflict, it could have declared the conflict had ended. However, that is not the case. The CM said many security personnel from BSF, Assam Rifles, and police have died defending the innocent public from the attacks of the enemies who want to divide the state. These enemies are the armed men who want to break the state into two. We are trying to end this conflict. Meanwhile, security is being provided with the assistance of the center, and with God's grace, there has been relative peace for the last 4 to 5 months, Singh added. As civil war rages in Myanmar, security agencies are verifying the reports of death of a Manipuri youth in the neighboring country and keeping a close watch on its impact on ethnic strife hit Manipur. From January 27, 2025, around 260 Myanmar refugees have taken shelter in India along the Moreh border in Manipur. a defense source said on Sunday, February 2, 2025. Since January 9, 2025, amid airstrikes by Myanmar military, refugees have been streaming into areas close to the Manipur border in batches. Defense sources said around 100 foreigners have sought temporary refuge but eventually returned after the bombing stopped. However, from January 27 to 29, when the fighting intensified in Myanmar, as many as 261 refugees arrived who are yet to return, said the sources. Officials said the news of death of Manipuri youth may be exaggerated as part of a propaganda to glorify the insurgent groups. Last week, a funeral attended by hundreds of people was held for a People's Liberation Army cadet at a public ground in Imphal East, Anjo. PLA is the band-made insurgent outfit which has possessed sections of Manipur. When asked about how armed men were allowed to hold a public funeral for the members of a band organizations in Anjo, a senior government official said there was nobody. The funeral rituals took place in absentia. After the video of the ceremony circulated, we have ordered an inquiry about, but no action has been taken so far. The PLA cadet, identified as Hentoiba 28, a resident of Kaksing in Manipur, was reportedly killed on January 27 in an exchange of gunfire along the Manipur border with Myanmar. The Revolutionary People's Front, of which the PLA is an arm wing, said in a statement on January 30 that Hentoiba succumbed to injuries sustained during the encounter with proxy enemies in an attack planned by the Indian Army. RPF said that Hentoiba joined PLA after successfully completing training in September 2023, few months after ethnic conflict between the Kuki-Zo and the Métis people erupted in the state on May 3rd. The Valley Basin Southern Groups VBIGs, or the band Métis extremist groups, operate from Myanmar and are often engaged in fight with the People's Defense Force (PDF) and the Kuki National Army Burma, along the several resistance groups and ethnic armed organizations (EAO) active in Myanmar. On 1st February, intense fight broke between the PDF and junta near Tamu in Myanmar, few kilometers from our border in Manipur. The Union Home Minister in 2024 extended the ban against 8 insurgent groups, including the RPF or PLA, for another 5 years. At least 124 road accidents occurred in Mizoram in 2024, with 112 people being killed, according to reports maintained by the state police. The statistics were disclosed at an event on the commencement of the Road Safety Month on Saturday. Police record says that there had been 547 road accidents since 2019 till last year, with 467 fatalities, which is around 83%. There is a possibility that some vehicular accidents were not recorded by the State Police Department. Analysis of regions of road accidents indicates that around 75% are because of the fault of the driver's like carelessness, while the rest of the causes were due to different regions, including drunk driving, driving on the wrong side, and using mobile phone while driving. The records between 2019 and 2023 indicate that 289 road accidents were registered due to careless driving, causing the death of 253 people while drunk driving resulted in 85 accidents, causing the deaths of 69. At least 44 incidents occurred due to wrong side driving, resulting in 28 deaths, and 5 died in 5 accidents due to drivers using cell phones while driving. Secretary of the State Transport Department, Zoe Sangliana, who inaugurated the Road Safety Month, said the Mizoram Road Safety Council selects driving with care and safety as the theme of the Road Safety Week this year. Zoe Sangliana said the number of road accidents and fatalities due to the accidents is extremely high in a small state like Mizoram, having only around 11 lakh populations. He said huge responsibilities lie on the drivers to avert vehicular accidents and thereby reduce loss of valuable lives. The Karnataka government has ordered the establishment of medical boards in state hospitals to process requests for dignified deaths through executions of living wills of terminally ill patients, India Express reported. This decision follows a 2023 Supreme Court ruling that recognizes the right to die with dignity as part of the right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution. Karnataka is the second state to implement these after Kerala. The State Health Minister Dinesh Gundu Rao announced on January 31st that the department has issued a historic order to implement the Supreme Court's directive. He stated that this move would greatly benefit individuals who are terminally ill with no chance of recovery or in a persistent vegetative state where life-sustaining treatment no longer provides any benefit. As per report, a health department circular on January 30 mandates the establishment of primary and secondary medical boards in hospitals to review requests from patients' nearest relatives for the withdrawal of life-sustaining therapy based on living wills. A living will or advance directive is a document that persons with deteriorating health or the terminally ill can execute in advance, through which they can choose not to remain in a vegetative state with life support system if they enter into a state when it will not be possible for them to express their wishes. Such a document could then be presented to the hospital for appropriate actions in the event the executor's health worsens. In 2018, a 5-judge constitution bench had recognized and given sanction for passive euthanasia and living will or advance directives. In that judgment, the top court had ruled that the right to life under Article 21 includes the right to live with dignity, and the same includes the smoothing of the process of dying in case of a terminally ill patient or a person is in persistent vegetative state with no hope of recovery. The judgment also provided for establishment of medical boards in hospitals to assess and give effect to such living wills. In January 2023, the Supreme Court modified its 2018 judgment to do away with the role of Judicial Magistrate First Class JMFC in giving sanction and validity to the living will or advance directive executed by a person. The court specified that the document expressing the living will or advance directive would need to be attested only by a notary or a gazetted officer to record their satisfaction that the same was signed willingly. The 2023 judgment also made changes to the composition of medical boards and detailed the manner in which they should act. The Karnataka government has now mandated the establishment of such boards in all government hospitals. Shiv Sena UBT MP Sanjay Raut on Monday criticized Prime Minister Narendra Modi's upcoming visit to Kumbh Mela, warning that if voters in Delhi are swayed by such symbolic gestures, it could pose a serious threat to democracy. He asserted that Arvind Kejriwal's governance, rather than religious optics, should determine the outcome of the Delhi Assembly elections. Kejriwal has delivered good work, and that is what will secure AAP's victory, Raut stated. On Delhi Assembly polls, Raut said on the same day Modi ji is visiting Kumbh to take a holy dip, he thinks that the people of Delhi will vote for him on this basis. If people vote on this basis, democracy is in danger in the country. Kejriwal should get votes based on the work he has done. He further took a dig at the union budget. Raut argued that the government's policies failed to address inflation, unemployment, and middle-class concern. To benefit from rupees 12 lakh exemptions, one must first earn that amount. Where are the real solutions for common people? He asked. He also took a swipe at Finance Minister Nirmala, stating that she should be firm in her role rather than merely relying messages on behalf of the Prime Minister. The Finance Minister's job is to boost the country's revenue, not to act as a spokesperson for decisions. The PM doesn't want to announce himself, he remarked. Raut further questions the government's silence on contract workers, asking how many among the 3.5 crore were actually paying taxes. Dismissing Modi's excitement over the budget, he said it takes at least 72 hours to fully grasp a budget. What exactly is he celebrating? At least 773 people were killed in Eastern Congo's largest city of Goma and its vicinity this week amid fighting with Rwanda-backed rebels who captured the city in a major escalation of a decade-long conflict, Congolese authorities said on Saturday. The rebels' advance into other areas was slowed by a weakened military that recovered over some villages from them. Authorities confirmed 773 bodies and 2,880 injured persons in Goma's morgues and hospitals, Congolese government spokesperson Patrick Muyaya told a briefing in the capital, Kinshasa, adding that the death toll could be higher. These figures remain provisional because the rebels asked populations to clean the streets of Goma. There should be mass graves, and the Rwandan took care to evacuate theirs, said Muyaya. I am tired and don't know which way to go. On every corner, there is a mourner, said G. Marcus, 25, one of whose relatives was among those killed in the fighting. M23 is the most potent of more than 100 armed groups, vying for control in Congo's mineral-rich east, which hold vast deposits critical to much of the world's technology. They are backed by around 4,000 troops from neighboring Rwanda, according to UN experts, far more than 2012 when they first captured Goma and held it for days in a conflict driven by ethnic grievances. UN peacekeeping chief Jean-Pierre Lacroix meanwhile said Friday that M23 and Rwandan forces were about 60 kilometers, 37 miles north of South Kivu's provincial capital of Bukavu, covering almost the same distance in the previous 2 days since they started advancing along Lake Kivu on the border with Rwanda. The seizure of Goma resulted in a dire humanitarian crisis, the UN and aid group have said. Goma served as a humanitarian hub critical for many of the 6 million people displaced by the conflict in Eastern Congo. The rebels say that they will march all the way to Congo's capital, Kinshasa, 1,600 kilometers to the west. The rebel advance has left in its wake extrajudicial killings and forced conscriptions of civilians, UN Human Rights Office spokesman Jeremy Lawrence said on Friday. We have also documented summary executions for at least 12 people by M23 from January 26 to 28, Lawrence said, adding that the group has also occupied schools and hospitals in the province and are subjecting civilians to forced conscriptions and forced labor. The escalations of violence toward Bukavu raises fears of even greater displacement, while the breakdown of humanitarian crisis excess is leaving entire communities stranded without support, as he said. That's all from us tonight, and we thank you for joining our program.